Hello everybody and welcome to a walkthrough with attributes. We're going to walk through a complex filter example. We'll go step by step into using attributes in your Webflow project. This filter example is for one of our enterprise clients at Finsweet. We're using demo data, we're going step by step into building the UI, filtering the data, and you will learn a lot by watching this walkthrough. Let's get into the project, let's see how it works, and let's experience the power of attributes together. And we're going to build this exactly. Look at this. We're going to filter by car makes, we're going to use the range slider, we're going to use year select, fuel type, location, and we have all of this juicy car data for us to use. So we're going to be building this. This is the end result. Our team at Finsweet built this example. Now I'm going to go in and rebuild this with you. So check this out. I have duplicated this project. It is blank for the filters. We have the data in here. We're not going to rebuild the lists or rebuild the data. We're going to rebuild everything that has to do with attributes. All of the filter UI, all of the needed attributes, the load more, the sort, the range slider. We're going to be reviewing CMS filter, CMS load, CMS sort, and the range slider, which works with all of these. So this is the end result. This is what we're building today. And I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I've actually never implemented attributes until today. This is actually my first time. I helped design the whole system. I know how all of this works, but I've never actually implemented it. So this is our first time together building something super complex here. Really excited about this. First, let's give a shout out to greencars.com. They are one of our clients. They very graciously let us use this awesome data here. So you can see we have this car data, but please know that this is a demo project. This data is not accurate. It is from kind of a long time ago. Okay, maybe we have a 2021. Do we? Let's see, this is the, no, we don't even have 2021. This is old data. The prices aren't right. These cars are not available right now. We are just using this for demo purposes. I want to make that super clear. So first, before we go into the actual filtering example, let's look at this work. Let's see what we're going to build here. This is a pretty complex and advanced system, and we're actually going to build it with no code. This is 100% attributes based. All right, let's first start using this make filter. So you can see as I am running these filters, we are filtering by Tesla. We have the active filters ready for us here. We can go filter by price. Look at this. Let's get a Tesla that's impossible to buy. We're going to be able to go and filter by all of this stuff. We can search for a Toyota. Awesome. We have the highlight effect. We can, what else can we do here? Let's go and filter by year. Awesome. We're in 2012. Let's do fuel type gasoline. We're going to do all of this. And by the end of this video, I think you're going to be a pro at attributes. After viewing this, you really have done one of the most complex and difficult implementations of attributes, but you'll see by the end of it that it's really not that difficult for what we're achieving here. This is a huge add-on to any client project. If you can master this, you're going to be able to upsell some really, really awesome functionality for your clients. And it all starts with attributes. So let's jump in. We're going to start in a Webflow project. It's a duplicate of what we just looked at. This is going to be available for clone, the full version, not this blank version. But we're going to build a blank version together. Now, this is not completely blank in a sense that we are starting with a CMS. We're not going to import data here. We're not going to build a simple CMS list here. We have our data. We have a multi-reference field. We have a reference field. We have year, price, mileage, thumbnail, pretty standard CMS collection. And we have our collection list. This is not a Webflow basics tutorial, so we're not going to build our collection list from zero. It is intended that you know how to build a collection list in Webflow, you know how to bind the fields, and that's exactly what is happening here. We're linking to our cars collection, and we have our basic bindings here. We're binding to the name, connecting to price. We have the year, mileage, fuel type. We have the location, and we have the name. Okay, so let's jump into this. Let's do this. And I'm excited to have this finished product. I will say this is going to be a really nice build for us. And for me too. I think by the end of this, I'll be a pro at implementing. I'm a pro at thinking about attributes, but not yet implementing. So let's go do this together. All right, we're definitely going to be referencing the official version here. We're going to go slow. This is not a speed walkthrough. This is really meant to put this on, follow the steps, and at the end of this hour or hour and a half or 45 minutes, I don't know, you're going to know exactly what attributes is all about. So let's go and start with the makes. This, I think, is very straightforward in the sense of what we are filtering. We're filtering by Volkswagen, we're filtering by Toyota. You can see we're rocking checkboxes here, which is a very big part of attributes. And let's go and get started. So the very first thing that I want to go and do is go to the documentation. I'll want to go and copy this script to the page. So I'm copying this script, and here in the example, I am going to go and paste it into the head of the site. And you can see that I've already pasted these examples. I'm not going to be live pasting each one of the attributes solutions. Right now, at the time of this video filming, we're still doing some testing, we're doing some revisions for you, we're finding some cool things to add. So this is not the official copy version of this, but you're going to go and copy this script, you're going to add it to the head of the page. And you can see we have CMS filter, CMS sort, CMS load, and range slider. So you need to go and add the script for each solution into the head. There isn't one script for everything. The reason we're doing this is for performance reasons, that maybe you don't need everything. Maybe you just need filter, or maybe you just need the range slider. So instead of giving you 20 solutions of everything, you can go and choose, I want this one, and this one. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Okay, let's go into the docs here. Let's go and start with this first item. I want to filter the content of this collection list or collection list wrapper. That's exactly what we're looking to do here. So I'm going to open this up, and you'll see this is the CMS collection list that will be filtered. So our CMS filter, FS CMS filter element list. And you can see from this screenshot, it's telling us exactly what to do. We have our collection list, we have our attribute, and that's what we're going to go and add. There we go. I copied this. We can copy to clipboard right here, the name. I will manually add that list value, and I'm going to go right to this collection list, and I'm going to go and add this as an attribute. And we have our list. Nice. Okay, there we go. First step done. Now let's go over here, back to the docs. We'll close this. We do not need this anymore. I want this form or form block to have the filter UI elements. That's this form. Notice how I say form here. We are not using link blocks or buttons to create these filter UI elements. We are using form elements. This is the proper way to filter. This is how you're going to see most enterprise level filter systems set up. This can be accessible. There's a lot of default accessibility benefits from using forms. We don't have to specify if it's exclusive or multi. If you came from CMS library, we had to say this is an exclusive filter or a multi-filter. We don't have to do that anymore. Now we can just go and say, I want a checkbox, which is multi, or I want a radio, which is exclusive. We don't even have to style them like checkboxes or radios. And you can see we have an example at the bottom of this page just to show you. These actually look, yeah, there we go. These are checkboxes. They don't have to look like checkboxes. Just because we're using a checkbox and our example shows a checkbox, we don't have to do this. We can style these however we want. But the base, the default, we do have to use these form elements. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a form to the page and go ahead and add this attribute to the form. Webflow form that holds all of the filter UI elements. So every single thing that we are building inside of here is going to go inside a form. So let's go do that. I'm going to go copy this and I'll go add filters to it. So let's go into our elements. Let's go and add a form block. Oh, I must have not. Okay. The person who built the base of this, great job. We already have a form covering the entire thing. Great. This is excellent. So we have a form already in here. This is a Webflow form. And we are going to, yep, there we go. I didn't delete one of them, sorry. So we have our FS CMS filter element. We have our filters, and this is our form. Now we can go place form elements inside this form. So we have our filter, don't need this, don't need this, our container with our filter grid. We have our column and we have our content. So I'll just start going, I'll start adding the structure here. Let's make it a bit organized and do a, let's say, filter UI. Let's call this a section. And we're going to put each section inside of this. So this will be a section, this will be a section, all of these will be sections. Let's go and put a border on the bottom to separate these. Great. Also, it's probably not going to look as good as the example. We had a designer on this. I'm not going to spend time with design things. I just want to make it clear how to use attributes. That's really the point of this. So I'm going to go and add my text in here, and let's start off with the make. So I have my make. I'm going to add my checkboxes, and we have our checkbox, very first checkbox. Awesome. This is actually dynamic data, so we need to go and add this inside of a dynamic collection list. Let's go and put this on our brands. This is our make. There we go. And let's go put this checkbox inside the item. There we go. There we go. Nice. All right. Now, let's make this look half decent. All right. Looking okay here. Let's give this a 1.5 rem. Doesn't matter. You can use pixels. This is not an important part of attributes. Classes don't matter. Styles don't really matter for most of the solutions. And there we go. We have all of our checkboxes ready to be connected to CMS. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the text of this from the name. Awesome. Let's do it just like the example. I want to say, okay, cool, great. All right, now our first connection, we're going to be connecting this checkbox to the make over here. So let's go into the docs again to see how this works. We have our filters attribute on the form. And now when I interact with this filter UI checkbox label, radio label, select, or text input field element, I want to filter CMS items with this text block, heading, paragraph, or link text content. Let's break this down. We have our FS CMS filter field identifier. There is a text right up here. This is not something we're going to read on this video. Instead, we're going to watch this video. And here, let me actually restart this so we can watch it together. We're going to click on the label text of our checkbox. We're going to add our field identifier just like this. This says countries. We're going to add make. And then we're going to add that same attribute to the content in the CMS list. There we go. FS CMS filter field, and that is countries. We'll be doing make. This is how we make the connection. So let's look at this. We have our conditions, not our conditions. We have our custom attributes. And this one was FS CMS filter. This was certainly field. And identifier is a way to identify this content with the content in the list. So I could actually do this. This works. This can be my identifier. This is a terrible identifier, but it can be whatever you want, as long as the identifier matches the content that it's supposed to filter in the list. So we're not going to do that, although it would work. We're going to call this make. And I'm going to capitalize the M. Not required, but I'm going to tell you why I do it later when we get to the active tabs. It's just a good habit in attributes to do this. All right, we have the make, and now I will do the same thing on the make in here. So I'm going to copy this. Let's go over to Tesla here. Not condition again. We're going to go here, and we're going to call this the make as well. Awesome. So believe it or not, this is all we need to make this start to filter the make. That's it. Watch this. So I'm going to go publish this, and we're going to see this filter UI filter this grid by make. That's all we need. We have the script, we have the list attribute, we have the form attribute up here, or filters attribute on the form, and now we have made the connection between the filter UI and the list. So when this goes and publishes, we're going to open it up. Awesome. And now when I click Volkswagen, we should be sorting by Volkswagen. There we go. Cool. We got Tesla in the mix. Let's get Mitsubishi, and we don't have any of those in the list yet. We're going to go to Pagination. We're going to do CMS Load, and this will be available. But for now, we only have 100 items here on the page. So this is working. Look at this. We are filtering the grid successfully with this checkbox and the list. Awesome. That was fairly easy for what we just set up. So let's continue going. Let's continue going through these. Again, I'm not going to spend the time making this look pretty. That is not the point of this. It is really just to show you how all of this works. Okay, let's go and do this search here. This one is also something that we can make happen. And you know what? Let's actually change this into a heading 4. Yeah, just give a little bit of hierarchy here. Awesome. I'm going to, I guess, duplicate this. And let's keep a couple of sections available to us so we don't have to continuously delete this. Awesome. So I'm just going to duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Now we have some sections ready for us when we go to these other sections. All right. We have a new fresh one up here. Let's do search. And I'm going to go ahead and add a search text input. Awesome. So let's go to the docs. Let's see what we have to do for this. I'm going to go to this. I will close this up. And you can see that we need to do this. We need to do this identifier step for the search field. But we actually have something specific that you have to do here, something extra that you can add to search for everything. So we can go and add on the text field, CMS filter field. We can do it by name. We can do it by categories. We can do it by make. We can do it by year. We can do it by anything. And we can comma separate these values. So let's go and do this. We need, again, our FS CMS filter field. Let's jump in here and add that. Nice. And let's just start by make. We're not going to do everything just yet. Let's just start by make and see how it returns make and it doesn't return non-make or fields that are not linked to make. So it should only be filtering by this because we have the matching field in the list data. And then after we search for the make, we're going to confirm that this works. We'll add some other ones. So we'll add, I don't know, we can add the name, maybe, and let's add the year also. And just for now, let's do a search. Come on. Come on, designer. You can do it. Come on, designer. Designer, a bit frozen up on me. Oh, got a page unresponsive. I'm going to exit this page. Let's give a reload here. This is a super raw walkthrough, as you can see. This was not prepped. I don't even know what I'm doing next, but that's what this is all about. Let's do a search for car. Cool. Did this end up publishing? It looks like it did. So it looks like we can start searching here for the car. Let's give a big fat zoom in here. Let's give a nice reload. Cool. And now we can search for the make. So let's first search by Tesla. That was already first on the list. Let's do Volkswagen. Cool. Volkswagen, Volkswagen, Volkswagen. So it's only returning the Volkswagen. Great. So let's try Toyota. Nice. Now, let's search for something that's not a make. Let's search for electric. Nope. Let's search for the year. Nope. Let's search for the location. Not a chance. It only searches for make because we have added that as the connecting field, as the identifier for what we want it to search for. So now let's go and comma separate this list so we can search for multiple things. And actually, just for now, let's do year. So I'm going to add year, and I have to now add year as an identifier to the list. Right now, attributes has no idea what year is. We have to actually tell it what year is, and that's what this is. So let's go and add fs CMS filter. Let's do the field, and this is the year. Great. So we'll publish this. Let's just double confirm that this is not working beforehand, right? 2019, 2018, nothing. Tesla, Nissan, cool. But no year, as you can see. So once we add this, we will now enable searching for the year. Cool. We are published. Let's just confirm that we are still working on the make, Toyota. Let's do Mazda's not in the list yet. Kia is here. There we go. So we are working for the make. Now let's do the big test for the year. There we go, 2017. We are returning correctly. All of these are 2017. So we have just super customized this search field. It didn't work. Then it searched for make. Now it searches for make and year. We're going to get to this later. Well, we won't get to it later. We're going to do it right now. This means search for everything. I've added an asterisk here. And if we go to the docs, we'll see in this special, I want to use a text input field in the docs. It says to search for all CMS fields, use the asterisk as a value. For example, this. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So I've just added it. We are all good. We only have year and make, right? So even if we publish this and start searching for location or fuel type or mileage, it's not going to return anything because we haven't specified what anything else is. Attributes doesn't recognize anything in this list except for the make and for the year. So we'll just leave this. And as we continue adding more of these filters, we're going to see it actually working. We're going to see how it does search for every field. And even later, we're going to add an option that highlights everything, which is super cool. Let's look at that actually. I love it. So if we do Tesla, we can optionally highlight the value that's being returned. So it's going to tell us, hey, your search is returning this item because of this match. We're going to do that after, though, when we get to options. All right, let's get back on track here. Let's go and add, what are we adding? We haven't decided yet. Let's go field type. Let's do a field type here. So field type is a reference collection. So we're going to do the same thing with the collection list. Let's go in there and do that. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do fuel type. And let's go and add my CMS list. Bam. Let's connect this to fuel types. Awesome. All right, we are returning all 4 of our fuel types. And let's do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and add a checkbox in here. Cool. Checkbox, we have to connect the label. I didn't really super explain this last time, but we are adding our attributes in the filter UI to the label. This is a label thing, not on the checkbox itself, not on the checkbox field, on the label, because we need to know the text that it needs to filter by. So it's not going to be checkbox 2, it's going to be the name right here. So now when we go and add FS CMS filter field fuel, now we know this one is gasoline, this one is plug-in hybrid, this one's hybrid, this one's electric, because of the text in the label. That's why it's on the label. So there we go. I'll just copy this for next time. And let's go ahead and add it to the matching text in the list. There we go. Fuel. Cool. All right, there we go. That's all we have to do. I'm going to publish it. We'll watch it work. Each step, each time we add a new item here, we're just going to check, make sure we're working, make sure we understand everything, and then move on. All right. Nice. All right. I will go and reload this page. Cool. We have the gasoline. Nice. There we go. Gasoline, gas, gas, gas. Love it. Okay, it's working. Hybrid. Notice how every time I change the filter, it scrolls up to the top. This is an option. An option, which I must have forgot to take off. Yeah, we're actually not going to start to do this yet. Come on, designer. Don't you dare freeze on me again. There we go. I definitely forgot to take this off. We're going to get to this after. This is the scroll anchor, but this is going to allow us to optionally scroll up to the top when the filter changes. This is good UX when the list is long and then becomes short, but we're going to get to that. So back to actually testing this. This is totally working. We have electric. Good. So we are working as expected here. New checkbox, new field. It is sorting. It is filtering everything correctly. Awesome. All right, back into the example. Let's go location next. We have radios here. This one's cool because it is not a checkbox. If you came from CMS library, this is the exclusive filtering. I can only select one location at a time. Now, the reason we're doing the radio here is just for example purposes, but probably if we were building this for real, it would be a checkbox. But we are going to do radio. There we go, New Jersey. All right, let's do it. This is actually not CMS. So we're going to be adding these radios by hand. And we did this specifically to show you that it doesn't have to be a reference collection. We don't need reference or multi-reference to set up these filters. Sometimes we have static data, and that's okay. So we're going to build this as a static list. Let's go and do location. I'm going to add a radio button. And before we start duplicating this, let's go and add the attribute to this so we don't have to do it every single time. So I'm going to do FS CMS filter field, and we're going to do location. Nice. All right, we got the location. Awesome. And I think that's all I want to do until we start to customize. Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to start with X here. All right, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nice. And of course, we can do scrolling here. We're not going to do that because I don't care. We're just doing attributes. So let's do this. We have AKCAFL. This is a true every step walkthrough. If you want to go and if you want to scrub through this, go ahead, but I am doing this step by step. A lot of you asked for this, so this is truly, truly step by step. AKCAFLHI. CAFL. And we got the HI. I could definitely do a week in HI right now. IDIAMT. Ho. Come on, designer. ID. Come on. I probably should have been prepared with a list here. But as I said, this is completely unprepared. MTND. MT. MD. ND. And okay, I'm just going to say the names. New Jersey, New York, Oregon. New Jersey. New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Washington, nice. Okay, we have our radios here. Now, this is an interesting use case. We actually did it for you specifically like this. We have the text in here, but this is the full location. We don't want the full location. In our CMS, we actually have a field that is more specific than this, and that is in this right here. We have a hidden text. So I want to show you that we can have hidden text here. The text does not need to be visible in order to get the attribute and to be filtered. But we want to show the full. We're just going to add it to this element. So I can go my FS CMS filter, that's going to be the field, and this is location. Notice how this does not have to match the CMS field. This one is actually called location. This one's called state. And we have the identifier's location. It doesn't matter. Like we said before, identifier can be anything you want. Just name it so you're organized for yourself. Cool. So we are good here. That's all we need to get this filtering. I'm going to go and hide this again, and we're going to go and publish and watch this work. So it was actually the same workflow as Checkbox. The only difference was this one is not dynamic, so we had to add each one. That's why it took so long. But probably in real data, if we actually had real data from the client, this probably should be CMS linked. Okay, let's go and reload this. We'll just quickly confirm we're still working on these. We're still working on these. And let's go and filter by California here. And there we go. We have California, California, California. Let's do a little New Jersey, a little New York. There we go. So it is filtering exactly as I would want. And notice how I can only select one here, right? As I am selecting these, it's only one at a time. So if you want to only select one filter at a time, you use radio. If you want to be able to select multiple at a time, you use checkbox. Awesome. All right, so we are running through these filters here. What are we gonna do next? We got clear buttons. We're not going to do those right now. We'll do that after. Let's go into select. All right, so we're going to select a year here, and the year is in a select element, which has some different rules in Webflow. We don't have the same capabilities to apply attributes to select fields. So watch what we do here. I'm going to duplicate this so we have more sections available to us. Let's go into year and let's add a select. Bam. Select it. We have the select field here, and we are now going to add a field identifier. Everything needs a field identifier. We need to know what we are filtering by. So let's go and add that to the entire select field. We only have to add it once, not to each choice. So I'm going to go in here to my FS CMS filter, and this is the field of year. Nice. And we actually added this when we were testing the search before, so we don't have to do this. And we have this year. So we are making that connection, field year and field year. Awesome. When we go and add our choices, the value is the equivalent to what we have here in the radio label or the checkbox label. The value is what we want it to filter by. So let's go in here and do 2014. And we want 2014 to filter by 2014. I could do 2014 is awesome. I could just do is awesome. And if the value is 2014, it's going to filter by 2014. So in this example, type and value will be the same, but type can be whatever you want. Value is what we really care about here. So let's do 2014. Nice. Okay, we'll do a 2015 with a 2015. And again, if you want to scrub through this, go ahead. I'm just going to be adding each one of these. It's a true step-by-step walkthrough, but scrubbing is encouraged if you do not want to watch me do this. I don't even want to watch me do this. Okay, 17. Let's do 18, and I want to say that it's, come on, 2018. That's not correct. Bam. All right, 2019, and I don't know if we even had 2020. I know we don't have 2021. But let's just add 20 just in case. Doesn't matter if it doesn't return anything. Cool. All right, that's it. We have our field with the identifier. We have all of our value set. And now when we go and publish and we use this select, it is going to filter by the year. Okay, give me that filter. Come on. Nice. Let's do it. All right, where are we? Year. Let's do 18. Nice. 2018, we are filtering. Nice. So we are just really pushing through these filters. And let's make sure and check that these work together. So we have 18, we have some Teslas up here. Let's see something. Okay, we have a Toyota. So let's filter out these Teslas. Toyota, nice. So we can use these together. We can use the make and the fuel type. Not a gasoline Tesla, electric, nice. There we go. So we can use all of these together. Let's see. Nothing. Great. All right, so we are using everything here. This is great. Love it. Okay, nice. What are we going to do next? Let's do the reset. Let's do reset. I'm in a reset kind of mode right now. Okay, so I'm going to add a text link here. And let's call this reset all. I'm going to reset all this. Let's go to the docs. Let's see what we have to do in order to reset. Also, we're not going to look through all of these, side note, but read through all of these. There's a lot of things you can do here. Like, look how cool this one is. I want the list to be filtered when the submit button is clicked. So instead of just filtering right away, you can have a filter system that actually filters when the user presses filter. This is cool for pop-up modal filters or big giant drop-down filters. Totally, totally cool. We're not going to do this, but please read through this. There's a lot of cool things you can do here. Number of results, we'll get to that. I want to reset all filters. There we go. Okay. FS CMS filter element. This is an element on the page. We are identifying what this is. It's the reset button. We have the reset all link, and we're going to apply this attribute to it. So let's go and do that. Here we are. We're going to add it, and we're going to call it reset. Reset. So when I go and publish this, as I go and click through the filters, and then I click reset all, it's going to reset all. And then we're going to add an option. We're going to add our very first option on top of this to make resets specific to a category. Cool. All right. We should be working. Reset all button is there. I have my Toyotas. You know what? I don't want a Toyota. I'm going to reset all. Done. Awesome. Love it. Let's do Tesla, Toyota. Let's get something from a different category. Let's look at California. And now I want to reset all. I can go ahead and do that. And now everything is reset. Even the select is going to reset. We don't have any results, but I can still reset it. And it is reset. Awesome. Super easy. Now, let's go and add a reset all button just for each category. The first thing we're going to do for this is to go and add this to each category, where each category will have its own reset all button. And let's actually, yeah, it doesn't matter. I really don't want to care about design here. That's not what this is for. I don't like it. Doesn't matter. Reset all, reset all, reset all. You guessed it. We're going to reset all. Nice. But this one we got to change. Nice. Okay, now we're going to jump into our first option. We're about to start getting deep into options. This is our first one. We add options on top of elements to customize what that element does. So we have the reset all filters on the reset button. All of them have it. Now we want to reset results for a specific category of filters. Nice. So we're going to add an additional attribute on top of our element attribute to clear a specific identifier. So I'll copy this. We're going to use our identifiers that we have already set up. And let's go and do that. This one's year. So I'm going to go and put year. And now we have location. I will go and location it. We're going to do fuel type. I think it was just fuel. Yeah, sounds right. Let's do make. Mexique. And that's it. Yeah. Do they have a... No, there's no reset specific to search. That's okay. All right, we're good here. We are now making custom reset all buttons by category. Great. Okay, so let's reload here. We'll check that the primary is working. Here we go, we're resetting. But now the real test is if we go and reset other options, No results. I want some results here. Yeah. We're not going to reset fuel type. We're only going to reset make. Nice. So if I search here, I can reset fuel type, and this remains. I can still reset all, and everything resets. And actually, this is a really poor title here. Reset this. I just don't want them all to say reset all. Okay, we're going to reset this. Let's reset this. And you guessed it, reset this. Okay, nice. We have category-specific reset buttons. Super powerful. As you can see, when there's a lot of things to filter by, maybe you just want to reset one. And that's exactly what this is for. Very, very good UX add-on to any filter system. Okay, let's do these active tags. I'm totally feeling active tags. This is one of the juiciest new features of our CMS filtering. This very quick and easy active tag feature. Look at, as I go and click these, I have active tags. And I can say, I don't want to search by this anymore. This is really, really useful if there are a lot. So let's just go and select a lot of things here, just for doing it, right? No results. I want to get rid of them. Instead of scrolling through these lists, instead of figuring out how to clear each one of these, I could just say, I don't want this one, I don't want this one, and I don't want this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. That's active tag. These active tags can be anywhere on the page. They don't have to be in line with its category. So let's go and start adding this. Let's go to the docs. Let's see what we have to do here. Okay, this is an element, so we're going to go up to elements. And there we go. I want this div block to be the active tag template to show selected filters. Let's open this up, see what's up. Okay. This creates an active tag system on your filter UI. As filters are applied and removed from the list, active tags will be added and removed from the page. Cool. So you can see here we have a div block, we have some text in it, and we have this image of an X. And we're using FS CMS filter element tag template. So let's go and create our first one here. Well, we only need our first one, actually. This is used as a template, so we don't need to add one for every single one of these categories. We just need one. So I'll go and add this, and this is going to be tag template, I want to say. Yeah. Okay, let's go and add some text to create some structure here. Tag template. And there was a little X in there, so let's make an image. I'm guessing there's an X for me. Nice. Cool. All right. Let's go name this. Let's pull out some client first stuff here. Let's do, let's call this the filter UI tag. Cool. Tag template. This really, it's a tag template. We don't need a class here. Whoops. Filter UI tag X. All right, let's 1 rem this. Let's 0.5 rem this. Let's 1 rem it so we can see what's going on. Okay, let's go and create some structure here. Great. Again, we are not designing. We are just going to do it enough to see what's going on. Cool. All right. Bam. Create a little bit of action. Cool. Do we have a different color? No. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, we have our tag template. This is exactly what we needed from the docs, right? We got up to the tag template. We have built what it's showing here. This is what we're showing. Now let's go on and see what else we have to do. This is in the same dropdown, right? We have the active tag, and now I want this text block to be the label, and I want this div block, link block, text block, or image to be the remove, the X. So let's go in here first. This is the tag text. This is FS CMS element tag text. And let's go do that. Right here, we got the tag text. Cool. And we had one more here. This is the tag remove. Cool. Cool. Bam. Tag remove. That's it, right? We're done. We're done. We have just built our active tag template. And now with just those few little steps, we have a super ultra powerful setup here for a great UX for our end user. I'm going to now publish this. And we're going to see this functionality here. Nice. The publishes gives me a nice chance to take a drink, which is great. It's coffee, no alcohol, I promise. Come on. Designer, come on. We're filming a walkthrough here. Did we get the publish? We got the publish, which I am happy with. Cool. All right, so first we see a flashing tag template. Don't worry, we're going to fix that. Let's see if it works. Volkswagen, got it, awesome, love it. Our tag template is working. Let's see if the X works. First, let's click on Volkswagen. This is not closing, but now if I click the X, it will exit. Awesome. We don't care about design, but we do care about cursor pointer. Gotta care about that. Okay, now, first issue that we have, we do want to be clear in the walkthrough, so we are going to add some margin right. And we also saw this flash, right? We saw the flash. We don't want that flash. And we also want the category. So by default, we are not going to show the category for you. This attribute system doesn't show category because maybe you don't want it. But if you have a lot of filters like this, it's probably a good idea to give the user as much context into what Volkswagen is. Is Volkswagen a year? It's silly, but you should have category. Volkswagen's not a year, it's a make. We should give the user that context. So we're going to do both of these things. We're going to make sure it doesn't flash, and we're going to add the category. Okay, in the docs. This is an option now. So we're not tagging a new element. We've already tagged everything we need for the active tag. Now we're going to, on my active tag elements, I want to show the category of each tag value. FS CMS filter tag format category. Cool. And now you understand why I have capitalized these names here. The identifier. This is going to take the identifier name. So if you did make, it's going to show this category display with lowercase m. But if you had the uppercase M for make, then it's going to show uppercase. This is not what we want. We want category. We're not putting the identifier here. That was just an example showing you capital M. This is not identifier. I did not mean to potentially confuse you there. This is straight from the docs, tag format, category. Okay. And the flashing, right. So No one likes flashing content. However, we do have to have this sort of template set up on the build. So what we can do is just opacity 0. And we have already taken this into account that you can opacity 0 it. And when you opacity 0, we're going to turn that opacity back on for you after the page is loaded. So it's going to prevent that flash for you. We're not going to display none it because we're not going to undisplay none it for you. We're going to give a 1 opacity for you. So there we go. Come on. Oh yeah. I get my rare opportunity for the drink. Great. Come on, come on. No flash. Step 1 complete, right? I don't see any flash. I'm doing a cache reload here. This should be flashing that, and it's not flashing it. So now let's go and see it work just like we want. There we go. Super, super cool. And this did not work, my category. Let's see why. Okay. Where? Okay. We're going to add this element with FS CMS filter element list. So this was actually put on the wrong element. I messed this up. I put it on the text element. And it's not supposed to be on the text element. It's supposed to be on the list element. Very important for each option, we say where you're supposed to put it. Any element with FS CMS filter field identifier. This one says element list. So I've put this in the wrong place. Tag format category. Let's go and make sure that we remove this from its original place. Tag format category, not correct. Let's go and add it to the list. Okay, and let's just pick out what we're going to do next. We have this, we have the category, we can do the sort, but let's focus on these first. Let's go and show some results, right? Yeah, let's do results next. Okay, what do we have here? Have you given me a publish? I will assume yes. Nice, there we go. So I just put it in the wrong place because I didn't look at the where. It's important where you put it. So there we go. Now we're filtering by this. Let's filter by this. I'm just going to click around just so we have it, and we have make fuel location. This is pulled direct from the identifier. So it's good practice just to do the capitalized letter in case you want to turn this on later. It's nice and neat and organized. We're going to pull that direct from the identifier. Okay, awesome. So this is working. We have our active tag system. This is super, super powerful. Awesome. Now we are going to do the results count. Correct? Correct. All right, let's just copy this text. I'm going to go and, yeah, let's add it right here. I've copied the text. I'm going to put it here. I'll default these at 0 and 0, and I'm going to span and span. The reason I'm spanning is so that I can apply a separate attribute individually to each one of these numbers. So let's go into the docs. Let's see which one we have to apply to go and show this. This is an element. This is not an option. We are saying this is an element on the page that we need to target to do something, to show something. So, okay, here, this looks right. I want the total number of items in the collection list. That's our second number. And show results. This is our first number. So we have FS CMS filter element results count. There we go, showing 0 results. And right here, we are applying. Okay, cool. That's easy. Let's go and choose our results number. I'm going to go in here. Results count. Excellent. And then back to the other one, we have our items count. Awesome. So this is now the second number, items count. Let's go back in here and we're going to apply this items count. Nice. And when I publish, we will see the number of items, just like we see here, showing 30 results of 511. However, we're not going to see 511. We'll probably be seeing 100 because we have not implemented our load yet. Haven't done load yet. And when we do, we'll be able to see all 500. Let's see if this published for us. Okay, nice. Showing 100 results of 100 items. Exactly. Toyota, 22, plus Tesla, 45, Nissan, bam, bam, hello. Awesome. Totally working. Okay, that's it. That's all we have to do. Now, the next thing we are going to do is show more than 100 items in this list. As we know, we have the 100 item limit in our collection list. We are going to break that limit with CMS Load. So now this is not CMS Filter. We did a lot of CMS Filter work here. This is one attribute solution. Now we're going to go to CMS Load solution. And CMS Load is going to give us this 511 items. It's going to give us full access to everything in the collection. And as you can see, that is everything in our collection, 511 items. So we want access to all those. We're going to put CMS Load on this list. We're also going to put a super awesome pagination. So let's go back to the live example here. We're going to now create this custom pagination based on Webflow's native pagination. So we're going to do, this is now the next step in the walkthrough. Okay, let's go to this load page. We have a unique script. Remember, for each attribute solution, you need to copy the script and you need to add it to the page. So the head of the site, we already have it here. We have our CMS Load script. Awesome. Now we can go and add attributes for CMS Load. We added a whole bunch of CMS Filter ones. We can combine CMS Load ones on the same elements. These are interconnected. You can use them together. It is truly a modular system. That's what it's for. So let's start with these attributes. I want this collection list to have the load more functionality. That's what we want. This is the list that we've been working with. Same thing as filter. We're going to identify this list with an attribute. And you can see the key is different here. Look at this, CMS Load element list. If you remember, this is CMS Filter element. So this functionality key it's the key to identifying which element, which list you want to target for a certain functionality. So that's what we're going to do. FS CMS Load element list right on our existing list. Right here. And we have our list. Cool. You could see we have two list values, but this one is saying, hey, this is the list for CMS Filter. Hey, this is the list for CMS Load. Nice. Okay, let's go back here, and important, it is required that the native Webflow pagination is enabled for your collection list. You know, this should have 3 important tags here. This is important. You have to have this or it's not going to work. We need to have access to these items, and we have access through the paginated list. So it's going to create this. And as we know, this by default without any CMS load is going to load a new page. It's going to load a new page with a query at the end with the next 25 items in the list. So you see 25 items per page load. We're going to turn that all into the same page. Pagination, but same page. No reload. So let's go and choose that option. This is an option now. I'm going to go back into the docs, and we're going to look at our 4 options that we can add to the list. We have load under, pagination, render all, and infinite. Load under is going to load items under. Look, as this is clicking through load more, it's going to load more items underneath the existing items. So this is option 1 that we can add on top of this list element. Look, where to add, FS CMS Load element, list. Load mode, load under. We have render all. Render all is usually not recommended. Let me explain this, especially if you're coming over from CMS Library. If you're coming over from CMS Library, you may be thinking, oh, this is load all, and I always need load all to filter with load more. Load all is a thing of the past. This load all in CMS Library. It is the equivalent of render all, but we don't need to do that. This is not performant. This can make your site slow. This can make load time slower. It's going to make filtering slower. So you only want to render everything for very special use cases, for cases that you absolutely cannot have pagination. We're going to see how powerful this new pagination is. This pagination is recommended when using filter. So we give you the render all, but there's an extra important tag here. Be mindful of what you're loading. This is not the best experience, and it wasn't the best experience in CMS Library either. So this is literally rendering every single item. Render is displaying. So not only are we loading it, we are displaying it. It's not super performant. So we're not going to do that. And we're not going to do infinite either. Infinite is, as you scroll through the list, it's just going to automatically load more and more as you scroll. We're not going to do that either. It is recommended when using filter to use this new pagination option. It's super smart. It works sort of like more front-end frameworks like React. We're going to load the items, but keep the items in memory. We're not going to render all the items. We're going to load them, keep them in memory, and when we run the filters, we're going to very intelligently display them in the DOM or remove them from the DOM. If you don't understand that, no problem at all. You don't have to. That's the point of attributes here. Doesn't matter about any of that stuff. We've already done it for you. So we're using pagination. That's what this is. We have the previous button, we have the next button, we have the pages. This is the most performant option when filtering. So we're going to go and add this. FS CMS Load mode pagination. Bam. All right. And let's click back on our list. We're going to add load mode pagination. Great. Let's go publish this. And that's all we need. I know that we spent a lot of time just talking about this and explaining about this load feature, but all we did here was add the script, add the list element, and then add the load mode of pagination. That's it. Those 3 things, and now we have this very powerful pagination on the page. So when this loads, we're not going to see this beautiful pagination here. We have to add some extra things to make this custom. But we are going to see a previous and a next button. And let's go see that. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Nice. There we go. We have our next button, and watch how it doesn't load a new page. Next, next. This is not a new page in the project. We are not loading anything. Look how fast this is. So we have loaded everything, but we're only rendering it when we need to. So these 25 items are being rendered on the page when we get to that page. The ones after and the ones before, no. So If you use pagination with CMS library, this is a whole other thing. This is way, 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 way better. So pagination, use it, it's awesome. And watch what happens when we go and style these Webflow buttons. We're now going to get into the styling, we're going to get into the custom pages, we're going to get into the dots. Let's just make sure that we are clear. Let's show both buttons here. We have our previous and our next. Filter, let's call this UI, and this is pagination. Pagination, let's just call it next. Yeah. Oof, man, is that ugly. This is already too much styling for me. What am I doing? All right, I'm just going to do a little tiny styling here. This is not the point of this. Don't care. Let's just give this the same class. Next. Great. Okay, so we have these custom designed buttons. We're going to see these working. Let's now go add the pagination page template and the pagination dots template. Let's see what this is all about. First, let's see this working. I just want to show you that this pulls direct from the native Webflow pagination here. So we're going to reload, we go next, and there we go. So we are styling these buttons right from Webflow. We're trying to integrate as much with Webflow as we possibly can, and that includes the pagination. So let's go to the docs and see how we can get a little bit more custom here. Okay. Advanced pagination features. That's probably it. Advanced pagination features, optional. These are attributes specifically for setting up custom pagination. Okay, when the user filters content and the pagination is enabled, I want the page to immediately anchor scroll up to this div block. Yeah, we're going to want that, not right now though. I want this button, link block, or link text link to serve as the template for page buttons in pagination mode. That's what we want. So let's look at this here. We have this link block. We have this page button. This is what we're going to do. We're going to create our own page button template, and that's going to be used to create all the pages. Much like we did with the active tag, where we created a template, and then attributes takes that template and does whatever it needs to do with it. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go and add let's do a link block in here. Can I put it in between here? Yeah. Nice. All right, let's call this let's call this the button. Let's add a text in here. I'm just going to add a 1. Doesn't matter what the number is. We're going to be dynamically changing this content based on what the actual pagination button is. Let's do a 3 rem here. This is quite large. Bam. Good enough. And let's add a little bit of a different color here. We'll do this boring gray. Love it. And that's it. We don't need to create a whole bunch of them. It's just the template. Now let's go add this attribute that we need. CMS Load element page button. So I'll go and add that right here. Nice. And I will just continue working here. We don't have to check every step. You'll see that we use the current active state with Webflow's current active state. So we're going to do the same thing that we did with page button and do a unique styling with the native current. Let's see how this works. So we have our regular button. I'm going to just create another one here, and now I'm realizing we actually need a 0.5 rem over here. Nice. and we'll keep it even. And we're going to say, hey, this is actually this page, just to enable the current state in Webflow. And now we'll go, this is active. Cool. So just like you would do with a nav link, you have a current state and a not current state. That's what we are building here. Cool. So we have our button. That's all we needed here. Now let's do these dots in pagination mode. So look at this. We have this dots option. This is used for longer lists. We can't show all 26 of these pages, so we need the dot, 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 right? We can navigate all the way to the end to this 26, but we need a dot, dot, dot. So that's what this template is for, this dot, dot, dot. I'll go and add the text block not inside of this. That was not intended. I'll do a dot, dot, dot. Maybe a few more dots just for fun. And let's go and do this. FS-CMS. This is not right. This needs to be updated in the docs. But for now, I'm just going to copy it and change it. We have the page dots. So this is not FS-CMS filter. This is FS-CMS load element. No problem. Hey. FS-CMS load element, page dots. Cool. All right, do we have to do anything else? Let's customize this. I want to customize how many page buttons to show based on the active page in the pagination UI. Page siblings. So that's this. If there's an active selected, how many show up on each side? Is there one on each side, or is there two on each side? By default, it's one. Let's just change it for two for fun here. Where? Add it to the FS-CMS load element list. This is a global setting here. So we're going to go and add this to the list. We'll do 2. So now when page 6 is selected, we're going to see 4 and 5, and we're going to see 7 and 8. Great. Let's also do the end. This is just to show you how these options can work. Page boundaries, how many we show at the end. Again, we have this value 1 by default, and we can go and change it to 2. So this is what 1 looks like. I'm going to change it to 2 just for fun. Strictly for fun. Let's go, we got 2 here. And also, look at this super awesome feature that we built in for you. Responsive option. Maybe you want a whole bunch to show on desktop, but you don't want it to show on tablet or mobile. You can comma separate the value here to change this. So maybe you want 4 boundaries on desktop, then 1 on tablet, 2 on mobile, and 1. Same thing with this. You may want 1 here, and then 3, and then 2, whatever you want. You can comma separate these for responsive. We're not going to do that now. This is not a mobile walkthrough, so we don't care about that. Page boundary 2. Okay. So we haven't checked anything here. It was 4 minutes ago we published this. We now have this super custom pagination. Let's see if everything works and is set up as we expect. We should have 2 siblings, 2 boundaries. We have an active state. We have the super dots. Let's see if we have enough space here. I don't know if we have enough actual page space for this. We're a bit zoomed here for the video. All right, let's reload here. So there we go. We are bringing in items to the page. We are loading 511. Awesome. So now when I reload this, there we go. 511 items. Cool. So we are 511 in. So now we're viewing everything. Let's see this pagination. Excellent. Okay, I do need to hide this. I put one too many templates. So this is working. We have our ugly gray, but I need to now remove this. You can see we have the dots and the dots playing around a little too much here. Only one template, so I don't need this. we can see that we have the 2 on each side and the 2 on each side, right? Remember we did the siblings 2, boundary 2, boundary 2. Okay, so now let's clean this up a bit. We don't need all of these ridiculous options. I'm going to, for space reasons, remove the siblings, remove the boundary. I remove that active state. It exists in the project. It's going to be there. And now this pagination, let's do, let's make this look a little bit nicer so that we can see what's going on here. Okay. This is now going to be a much, and let's do this so we can actually see what's going on here. This is now going to look better after this change. We remove that, the second template, that second one that we did the current state on, it was still standing there when we published the page, so we only need 1. And now we change the siblings, we have 3 dots, and now this should look just like this official example that we're following. And there we go. You can see the pagination is growing. Items are being brought onto the page. This is required, no matter what solution you're using, to bring these into the project. So these are coming in. We can still use the filter. In CMS Library, we had problems with items loading on the page and not being able to use the filter. That's not the case. You'll see that when I reload this page and I start to filter, we can filter immediately. There is no delay in filter. So there we go. Look at this. We got the active page, we're going, and we got the dots just like we expect. So we have our dots. We can go and paginate through this list. Check it out. We have 1 on the boundary. We have 1 on the sibling. We can use our next button, our previous button. We are all styled up. Super, super cool. These also don't have to be dots, by the way. This could be an emoji. It could be a picture. It could be a more pages. You can write the word more pages. It doesn't matter. But this is exactly what we wanted. This is totally working. It certainly doesn't look as pretty as this version, but this is it. There we go. We nailed it. Love it. Okay, so we just built an awesome pagination. We have load more on the page. We have this 511 items. Let's actually go and see this working here. So now we have every item in our collection showing here. 57 of 511. We have electric here. We have the plug-in hybrid. Let's go Florida. There we go. No results. Let's remove Florida. And look at how the pagination updates here. This is juicy. 2 pages. Only 2 pages. Great. And when I remove one, now there's 1 page. There's less. Let's remove this and remove this and remove this. 3 pages. So the pagination is very smart. It's going to update based on what is available in the list. We can reset, the pagination stops. You can have the pagination sticky on the bottom. You can have the pagination on top. It doesn't matter where the pagination goes here. It could be anywhere. Okay, that's it. We are actually done with this video. I know that we did not get to the sort, we did not get to the range slider, and that's because we needed to get this video out before No Code Conference. So that's what we did. We cut it right here. A part 2 will be coming. But for now, this is the official walkthrough for filter implementations. This is going to give you enough knowledge to go and build a complex filter system. Also, if you understand this, you understand all attributes. All of the attributes follow the same process, the same system, the same mindset. So if you can go implement this, you can go and do range slider. It's live, it's available. You can go do the sort. It's live, it's available. Go ahead and try it. If you have problems, write to us, let us know. Tell us where you do need the walkthroughs. Part 2 coming soon. Thanks so much and enjoy using attributes.